Hi, this is Chris at the Wandering Bull. In front of me today are roaches and roach spreaders, and I have a couple of different kinds of roaches. This one here on my left is a hair-based roach that just came to me in a collection, and it has not been wrapped in years. So you can see it's not terrible. This hair-based roach probably early 1900s. So it's deer hair in the center and porcupine hair and one row of deer hair. But you can see how that deer hair over 100 years has fallen apart. Most of the porcupine hair has fallen out. This roach has been well used, but never wrapped. So what I would do, just for starters, find the hole. So there's the center of that roach. And put my dowel in. And for a roach of this age and in this condition, treat it very gingerly and fold all that hair in place. That's why you want to keep the roach wrapped when not in use. So there's that roach all wrapped up, 6-inch hair-based roach, and it's on a dowel probably 1.5 inches in diameter. I wrapped it to the end. And normally what I would do is get this soaking wet, so the ace bandage is wet, put it aside, let it dry for a couple of days, then unwrap it, rewrap it again. And another hair-based roach, this one here, once again came in a collection, probably, I would say in that same 100 years old. And this one has been wrapped. So here's compared to a modern roach, they're not all even. There's variety of lengths in the front, and that deer hair is a little sparse just due to age and use. Can turn it over. This guy's probably 12 inches long. Lots and lots and lots of rows of hair are involved in this. Tiny little hair bundles as well. Same on the outside. That deer hair, tiny little bundles compared to like the roach makers today are probably using much bigger bundles of hair. Goes a lot faster. So with this guy, here's the inside with red hair on the inside and red on the outside. This is the stick that came with it. Works fairly well. Slide it in the center. Here's another roach that came recently in another collection. Look at the hair. See, it's probably 7-inch hair, all those white tips at the top. They don't snip them with a pair of scissors to keep them all even. That's the length of the hair. The quality of the roach is in that hair and how it stands up. It's sorted well. This guy has one full row of porky hair, 1/2 row of porky hair, and 1/4 row. So the front has theoretically 3 rows of hair, and that's where you see that. You can't tell down here that there's only 1 row of hair. So 14-inch red on the outside. And I have several spreaders in front of me. These are stock spreaders for us. Single socket. This, you would put a loop on the end of your feather. Slide your feather into the socket, and the pin would catch the loop on the bottom of the feather and hold that feather in place. The last thing you want to do is lose your feather on the dance floor. So single socket, double socket. A lot of the northern traditional dancers prefer the double socket, those 2 feathers. This is the chicken dance spreader, and instead of being front to back, those 2 feathers are side to side. And lots of times they'll be big, long, pheasant feather, but the same attachment for the feather is with all 3 of these. So these are the modern ones that we sell. I have these 3 here. This one here is probably made of elk antler. Very elaborate. 2-socket, so it'd be a Northern Plains roach. Nice and wide. And the cutouts are painted on the inside red and black as well. This one is probably missing that, fifth little lobe that would drop down. And it's been missing for a real long time. You can look at the end, it's not a recent break. And you can see some of the edges on that are painted. So, nice roach spreader, probably 50, 60, 70 years old, made of elk antler, nice and wide. They would steam that elk antler to soften it up, then they can move it around a little bit. The sockets look like they're made out of deer antler, and they drilled out the center of the deer antler where that marrow is, and much softer, and they put these little pins in. So then you would slide your feather onto the pins. This would slide through the center of the roach and tie under your chin. These ribbons would hang down the back of the roach. There's another little, I would assume, elk antler or moose antler. And it's etched right around. Some brass tacks put in place. You can see them folded over on that side. So this certainly would work well in this roach. And this guy is a little small for that roach. So certainly this one would work on one of the hair-based roaches, and no upright feather. And this little wood base, once again, no upright feather. I'm not sure why, but came with this 14-inch hair-based roach. So I would imagine this was made to fit into this roach several years ago. So this roach I wrapped on the dowel with an ace bandage and soaked it and you'll see the difference from it being left unwrapped for a long period of time to it being wrapped. So that certainly now looks more like a roach the way it should sit. Still missing that porcupine here in the front. There's a little bit of a short row of porcupine still there, and all that deer hair is missing. But there's the inside. So that looks proper. That's why we wrap a roach when it's not in use. Keep it nice, keep the hair all uniform. So to wrap it again, put my dowel right in the center, fold that hair over, hold that in my left hand. In my right, I take the ace bandage, hold it down. So now I have it wrapped. I'm satisfied with how that hair lays in the wrapping. Usually I run, now at this point in time, I'd run it under the kitchen sink, turn the faucet on, and soak my ace bandage. But since we're in the shop and not in the kitchen, theoretically, I would take water and soak it till that ace bandage is wet. Give it one more soaking. So this is how I would go about wrapping a roach and then soaking it to reform that hair, get it all to lay down nice, so once it opens it stands up nice. But this is theoretically how I would bring that roach back to looking the way it should be after being stored improperly for a long period of time. WanderingBull.com. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram. If you have any questions, you can certainly give us a call at 1-800-430-2855. Thanks for watching.